Hi guys, I wanted to do a video talking about resources that I use as part of my path. I do tend to use quite a lot of technological resources, I suppose. You know, I make videos here on YouTube, so that's obviously using technology, but also I like to listen to podcasts, and these features quite a big part really of my path. My main interest in the podcast and how it came about that I started downloading podcasts is meditation. I like to do a daily meditation, but I do that in an evening before I go to bed. My cat is jumping about on those. And I really struggle with quieting my mind. So I like to do a guided meditation, and there are a couple of favourite podcasts that I do like, so I thought it would be beneficial to share these with you for people who are maybe looking to start out meditating or are looking for some guided meditation assistance. I think my favourite one would be the Meditation Podcast. Now they've got a website where you can download the podcasts from, or you can go, they're on iTunes as well, so you can download directly from iTunes, and what I tend to do is do that, download them onto my phone and then have them playing as I'm going to sleep, which I know you're not really supposed to do, you know, that's not the point of meditation, but I really find that it helps me to quiet my mind and get me to actually fall asleep in the first instance, because I do suffer from anxiety, and this is, you know, one of the ways that I deal with my anxiety, and I find it really helps. So I would definitely recommend the Meditation Podcast. Their intro is a little cheesy, I love it. It's Jessie and June Stern. And yeah, their podcasts are really good. They've got ones on different topics, so there's like one that is actually a podcast dedicated to getting you to have a good night's sleep. There's one about sacred space. There's some really good stuff, and I would definitely check them out. So I'll leave a link to their website there. But having a look on their website, they've it's quite good. They use binaural beats, so they always recommend that you use headphones and things, because then apparently according to their website, it enhances the theta brainwaves in the listener. The theta state, similar to REM dreaming, or REM dreaming, makes the body and mind more receptive to healing, cellular regeneration and learning, and tends to instill a sense of peace in the listener. So I definitely recommend. I don't know how they do it, but they've also got a Twitter, so you can @TMP podcast. So yeah, we'll follow them, shall we? And I'll send a link. I'll post a link as well to them on there. So definitely check out the meditationpodcast.com. And I think also you can buy their CDs if you want, and the music that they use is by 9 Lives of a Healer, and I definitely recommend the music from 9 Lives of a Healer. I'm pretty sure you can download their music, or at least buy them from their website, so check that out. So that's my first recommendation for meditation. My second recommendation is a podcast that I found right at the very beginning, so it's I think it was about 3 years ago now that I came across this, and I actually really sort of fell in love with their podcast. Now I don't listen to them quite as frequently, but I like to go back to them. And they are podcasts by the Meditation Society of Australia. Any Australians out there watching, you've got your own meditation society, so well done. And the podcasts that I particularly like listening to, I think they've got quite a few, but I like their Learn to Meditate one, because basically they give kind of like a lecture thing of understanding what you're going to achieve and what you're going to do in the meditation, and then they go ahead with the meditation. And I find those lectures, the talks at the beginning, really, really interesting. Plus the guy has a beautiful lilting Australian voice, and I find him very relaxing to listen to. So they've got Learn to Meditate, which I really like that one, and those are like audio classes, if you like, and they go through and you increase the amount of meditation that you're doing, so I definitely recommend those. They've also got Meditation Peace, which is again audio guided meditations, and I quite like those as well, but there's less of the talking. Then they've got like a video podcast, which I haven't really looked at, but that's guided meditation, so I suppose if you were a person that prefers something visual, then you could check that out. And they also have an audio class for children meditate, so again, I can't comment upon that because I haven't looked at it, but I would definitely recommend checking them out. They've got a website again, which is meditation.org.au. Again, I'll post the link below. But they're on their website as well. There's like groups, so you can join a discussion group. They've kind of got links to all their different classes that they do. You can buy books and CDs and incense and all sorts through their website. And then they also run workshops, so anyone in Australia, I'm just having a quick look on their website now. If you are in Brisbane, they're running a workshop actually this Saturday on the 30th of June, might be a little bit short notice, 2 days time. In Melbourne they've got a workshop at the Docklands on the 2nd of June, that's gone, 3rd of June's gone, 26th of May, 29th of July would be the next one in Adelaide City. So yeah, keep updated with their website. There's really good things, nice meditation exercises that you can do, and free music and things like that, and really like it a lot. So check them out, the Meditation Society of Australia. And then my next recommendation would be Mary Maddox Meditation Oasis. She's lovely. Oh, Kitty wants to play. And she's got a good website. Again, it's meditationoasis.com. Again, she's got, interestingly on here, there's obviously links to the podcast. She does Q&A, there's like listeners' comments and all sorts of things. There's a whole section on her website about how to meditate. So you've got things like general guidelines, difficulty meditating, simple meditations, breathing meditations, walking meditations, nature meditations, meditation in action, I'm not sure what that is, music as meditation, you know, so she goes through. She's got an online meditation course that you can do. Also, I'm just checking on my cat. Also she has things about anxiety and worry relief, so that's kind of why she appeals to me. Obviously I enjoy those things. And then also they've got apps for different smartphones and things, so there's like things like BlackBerry, Windows apps, Android applications, iPhone, iPad stuff, and there's also a blog and a shop. So definitely check out meditationoasis.com. So those are the meditation podcasts that I listen to regularly and that I enjoy, and I would definitely recommend. They really do help me to reconnect and relax, really, and sort of listen to my inner self. But along with those things, I also listen to a few podcasts that are kind of more witchy, spiritual based ones. One that I'm getting into at the minute actually is called New World Witchery by Cody and Lane, and I think they've got about 40, just over 40 episodes now, maybe 43, 44 episodes. They've also got a blog, which I think is newworldwitchery.com. Again, I'll post all these links. But that's, you know, they tend to run quite a chatty podcast. There's the two of them, and I get the feeling that Cody is kind of tutoring Lane a little bit. but they sometimes have interviews with different authors, and the topics that they discuss are really quite interesting. You know, they do like special, they tend to do, the idea is that it's, if you are American, this is going back to your American roots and the traditions that are in America. So they do a lot of like hoodoo, and you know, there's an episode on like conjure bags and mojo stuff, and it's really quite interesting. And they tend to give you history. There's a whole, which podcast was I listening to the other day? There's a section about like rhymes and games and where to like folk tales. It's kind of like folk magic type things that they focus on, but kind of like different rhymes and things, and where do they come from, what do they mean, and you know, the imagery used in them. You know, and that was a really very interesting discussion. So I would definitely recommend New World Witchery. I know some of their ideas are kind of like, people will be like, really, you can't do that, but I find their discussions quite interesting, so definitely check New World Witchery out. Another one which is not distinctly spiritual per se, but definitely if you are into Celtic spirituality at all, and Rob will definitely know about these guys, Celtic Myth Pod Show. They run an excellent podcast, Ruth and Gary, and they're very lovely. But they basically go through, so what they've done so far is they've gone through the Irish tales, and they have started the Welsh Mabinogion. And they don't just read out the stories, they basically reenact them, and it's kind of like, you know, listening to a film, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to describe it, but they reenact them, and it's very high quality. The stories are of course really exciting and interesting, and they sometimes have competitions on there, and they give kind of local knowledge about different digs, events that are going on. So I would definitely recommend Celtic Myth Pod Show. I would also give out another shout out to the Spirit of the Albion. I'll post a link down below, but Gary and Ruth from Celtic Myth Pod Show were of course involved in the Spirit of the Albion film. It's, if you don't know what it is, it's a pagan film made for pagans by pagans, and yeah, it's a little bit cheesy in places, but you know what, it's awesome, and everybody needs a copy of Spirit of the Albion, just saying, and I will post a link to how you can get it. So Celtic Myth Pod Show, definitely 5-star, love it. And then my final recommendation would be for Ariel's podcasts, and I listen to Ariel's Druidic Craft of the Wise and also a Witch's Primer. The best place to go for these podcasts is, obviously they're available on iTunes like the other ones, but there's also a website, the DCW. So I'll post a link to the DCW, and basically that's its own tradition, the DCW, and Ariel is involved in that tradition, and his podcasts, he has like a lecture series, which is very interesting, but then a Witch's Primer he has, which is for non-denominational witchcraft. So if you're looking to get started and you want to know about the basics of witchcraft and you don't want to get religion involved in it, then I would recommend a Witch's Primer. Okay, well those are my resources that I use on a regular basis. I'd be really interested to know what you guys use, what your recommendations are, maybe do a video response and show me what you do. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. Okay, bright blessings guys, blessed be, and I'll see you next time. Bye.